Well, an obligatory Happy New Year to all of you. I understand that not everybody is back to work as yet, so I'm going to use this commentary as a kind of bridge between 2013 and 2014 on a subject dear to the heart of AIDS-free world, and then next week I'll reinstate the normal week in review. You may recall that the last item I dealt with in 2013 was that calamitous shortfall in the funds received by the Global Fund to fight AIDS, tuberculosis and malaria. The fund had asked the donors for $15 billion and received only $12 billion, and that could be quite desperate. So I'd like to use this commentary as a kind of cautionary tale of the great possibilities that lie ahead, but that the sobering second thoughts that are required. And I'll rely for that on a fascinating New York Times editorial that appeared last month, quite unexpectedly, and titled "The Toll from Three Deadly Diseases." And the New York Times simply pointed out that in the case of malaria, there had been a dramatic decline in deaths over the last decade, of course, but that still 627,000 people died of malaria in 2012, and we haven't yet raised even half the money for the insecticide-treated bed nets and the drugs that are needed to end this infectious disease. And then the New York Times went on and said about tuberculosis roughly the same thing. A dramatic decline in the number of deaths, but 1,300,000 people died of tuberculosis in 2012, most of them in sub-Saharan Africa, and most of the deaths preventable. And then they went on to HIV and AIDS and made analogous appraisals. That in fact, of course, the number of new infections had come down, but over 2 million people were still newly infected in 2012. And yes, the number of deaths had come down because drugs were prolonging life, but 1,600,000 people died in 2012. And the New York Times said that there were 35 million people living with the virus and only 10 million or so were in treatment, and therefore the donor shortfall was terribly serious. And they ended up by saying, I'm quoting almost exactly, that it would be shameful if millions died while the donors looked the other way. So isn't it time to focus on the millions who are struggling and turn 2014 into the year of breakthrough in our response, particularly to HIV and AIDS, instead of forever trumpeting slogans which are shameful and shameless in what they connote? I'm Stephen Lewis.